Hey, welcome back again. And remember, evolution waits for no one and no one's belief systems. Think about it. Okay. Now, this again is a request video. And we're going to give this one a whirl also because I have experienced some of this, but I have not experienced it yet in actual physical practice. And it's body jumping into another's body and experience or feeling what they're feeling, seeing, smelling, tasting, touching. I've been hearing quite a few people talk about this as of late. And as I said, I personally have not experienced it physically in fully waking consciousness yet, but I know of quite a few other people that have, and it seems to be becoming more and more common. You know, it's kind of funny if you go back a few years, the big rave at one particular point was if somebody was having an out-of-body experience, it was like, wow, this is really, really cool. Isn't it amazing how the evolutionary process has really accelerated in the last little while? It just blows me away when I hear some of the stuff and some of the experiences that are happening. And at this particular point, I've had quite a few people get a hold of me in the last little while who were in some cases almost in panic state because when they're fully awake, fully conscious, and fully involved in doing something, all of a sudden they project, and I believe what they're projecting is a portion of their physical body, or not their physical body, but their energetic or their etheric body. Or in some cases, I also think that what they're projecting is one of their sheath bodies, which I've mentioned in a couple of my videos. These sheath bodies, as I said, kind of bring together what I'm going to call the multidimensionalism, if that's the appropriate word, of the multidimensional potential of the human being or the body physical as a rule. And it is my conviction at this time that usually somebody who is at the point where they're body jumping and they're projecting in full waking state consciousness, and this can be even in a meditation state also. Just because you're in a meditation state doesn't necessarily mean you're in a deep altered state. You can still be fully aware of what's going on around you. And I know people have been doing that in a meditative state also. Excuse me. But now they're doing it in a full waking state where it happens. Now, it may happen at some point if you're driving a car. This is not a good thing because you want to be having, your attention span, paying attention to what you're doing. However, and I want to mention something here, and this is really neat, and this is the video is the place for it, all right? And I can recall this would be about, oh my goodness, this was when I was fully involved in teaching meditation classes. This would have been, oh crap, no, would be 20, oh no, would be about 30 years ago. And at that point, I was teaching meditation class. I owned a small little house. I was living on my own, but I had a couple of meditation classes going. And once a month, I used to do a group channeling session. And I can remember, and I remember this well because I listened to the recording afterward. And higher self, and he just uses the name John, has said in the channeling that in the future, we, being the people, would be able to, for example, sit down at your typewriter in those days, okay, or do a very mundane job or something that we do every day, and leave your body physical there and project the majority of your consciousness and go somewhere else and do something else or be somewhere else with somebody else and actually experience it through their body. This was over 30 years ago. It just came out in a reading. And you know, it's kind of funny when everybody listened to it and when he said it, you know, there were people who were scoffing and, you know, oh yeah, right, he's full of shit and all that kind of crap. Well, you know what? Just as higher self said 35 years ago, it is now happening right now today. All right. And it just goes to show you, you know, that sometimes something that shows up, and this is one of the hallmarks of higher self. I do have a very reliable higher self, and it showed up and he was bang on right that this is exactly what's happening today. And this is where the actual aspect of multidimensional consciousness and becoming a multidimensional being is applicable. And this is why I'm saying that I've been giving the information lately too about the 12 sheath bodies and the personality traits that are integrated into them, but each one of them has a state of consciousness all of their own, and each one of them has a variation or a purpose or can do multiple different things. And this is where we're going. So what's happened is to the person or persons that are having this happen is you don't have to be too concerned that you're going to flip out and, you know, do something erratic, or there's something wrong with your nervous system, or you're mentally deranged, or you're cracking up. You're not doing any of those things. What is happening is a perfectly normal ability and skill that is pertinent to someone who is developing a multidimensional state of consciousness, all right, with multidimensional abilities and multidimensional aspects of self that can disengage or detach from the physical body or physical consciousness. Look, let me put it this way. Three-dimensional consciousness is very limited, all right? It's limited because of the belief systems that contain it within three-dimensional reality. Multidimensional states of consciousness go way beyond that. Evolution is taking us to that point where we're gaining and we're multiplying our consciousness X amount of times. And the body physical, the body mental, the body emotional all have to adapt to this new state of consciousness that is coming towards all of us. And body jumping is just one of them in that particular situation. I haven't, like I said, did it right now in the physical realm, but I've been doing it in the dream state, and I've been mentioning in some of my videos lately how crucial your dream state is at this particular point in time, and you know the things that you are doing. And I'm doing this exactly what is being talked. I'm not as far ahead as some of you are. All right, I'm a little slowpoke in some areas. All right, and I'm doing it in the dream state where I'm jumping into other people's body. And I'm telling you, to be honest with you, I'm very much aware in my dream state of what's going on, even to the point now where smell, taste, and touch and all of the physical senses are now coming into the dream state, all which is kind of cool, okay, because if you want to stop for a snack during a dream, you can actually stop for a snack and have it, and you can taste it and everything else, and you don't have to worry about going for a crap the next day, because it's not going to happen. So there is some advantages to it, okay? You know, let's make a fun thing out of it, all right? Consciousness is fun. Consciousness is experience. Consciousness is enthusiastic parts of yourself getting involved, and don't panic because something new is happening in that sense. So when this starts to take place, what you're doing is you're expressing, usually in one of those 12 sheath bodies that I talk about. One of those sheath bodies is the one that is jumping out of you, taking a portion of your consciousness with you, and jumping into the other physical body, integrating and actually looking out and feeling and sensing what that body feels like. And in some cases, if it's a female jumping into a male body or a male body jumping into a female body, you get to feel what it's like. And this is good, okay? Let's look at it just from another way, okay? If we have, here's a hypothetical situation. If we have, just for the hell of it, if we have 500,000 women, okay, who can body jump, and they all jump into a man's body somewhere on the planet, and they get to feel what a man is feeling like, all right? At the same time, while they've jumped into the body and they're looking and feeling and sensing, you got to leave some of your essence behind when you leave. You can't just jump into a vehicle and not leave a portion of yourself with it. So, a lot of ladies are complaining about the males are just not with it. We're slow and we kind of got our head stuck up our ass, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. Well, here's your chance to actually do something very positive. Okay, as to hypothetical situation here, 500,000 of you jump into different men, share your essence with the men by definition, and what happens is they will pick up on it because you haven't said anything to them verbally. It will be just transposed into their etheric and their bodies, as it were, and they can adapt and absorb it and assimilate it, and they can become better people of it themselves. And the same applies to men. If there were 500,000 men who could do the same thing and jump into women, then women would know what men are actually made of, and men would actually know what women are actually made of, and vice versa. And then wouldn't it get better for the relationships that are formed? You see, I always see the things with the big picture, all right? I always see the outcomes as they start, and I get excited. I get wired, literally. When I see shit like this happening, okay, excuse my language, all right, I get excited. This is what excites me. Sitting on Netflix and having the shit scared out of me on some stupid movie, all right, or sitting there and being entertained by some hip-hop band, all right, or going to Jurassic Park and getting eaten by alligators and dinosaurs, doesn't float my boat. This stuff does. Because this is the most important stuff going on the planet at this moment. This kind of stuff is going to save humanity from the chaos that is happening at this particular point. And then the other thing that I'm going to put out here, there's a big panic right now on the planet about artificial intelligence and what's going to happen and how dangerous it's going to be. I'm going to tell you something. Artificial intelligence cannot be programmed to do the things that the human evolution process is doing to us with our multidimensional states of consciousness. You're not going to have any artificial intelligence that can body jump. You're not going to have artificial intelligence that's going to have a heart center and can communicate and contemplate other individuals. You're not going to have it, all right? Artificial intelligence is nothing more than a duplication of limited three-dimensional reality in all its perspective. Because what's happened is we're going through this evolutionary process, our moral standards, our personality, all of the higher attributes of a multidimensional person or being are being acquired and disseminated throughout. For example, the people who are doing body jumping, all right, are not just some, witches from Salem or some coven or something of that nature. These are evolved people who are doing this, and they're doing this because their personalities have reached a point of spiritual maturity or evolutionary maturity that they're being allowed to do this. Now, the other thing that's happening is, and many of you know that higher self, if that's the word that you want to use, is not going to stop every 5 minutes and answer a question for you because you're going through the process. Otherwise, the process would never get done because higher self was spending all of its time answering the questions before you even get there. This is one of the things that I notice about people. They want all of the answers and everything that's coming 10 years down the road before they even get to the first year of the evolutionary process. And this is what I notice. It's like you have people in the spiritual community who are constantly looking for new entertainment or new information before they've even digested, assimilated, and incorporated the information that is being present at the particular moment. And body jumping is a very beneficial thing. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be able to template each other. And the social structure between cultures. Imagine, for example, if you have, somebody who can body jump and who is evolving and growing and becoming a multidimensional being, and that person can go into a third world country or somewhere where the evolutionary process has not made great strides as of yet, and jump into the body of a person over there or several bodies at the same time, and actually project and give them information and knowledge and do it in a way that they don't have to write a book, they don't have to speak to them verbally, they just jump into the body and they share themselves with that person. Now, doesn't this excite you? I mean, Jesus, This is exciting stuff. When I think about it, it just gets me wired, literally. When I think about the potential for the human experience and the expression of consciousness of where we're going at this particular point. So when something like this happens to you, don't panic, okay? Don't think there's anything wrong with you. If it's there, it's because you earned it. And when I say earned it, it means because it's happening to you, because you've reached a level within yourself, your body physical, especially. And this is a point that I wanted to make mention here. The body physical. The body physical is your containment field of your multidimensionalism and your multidimensional states of consciousness in three-dimensional reality. All right? So what happens is, as you're doing this, you're changing the vehicle that you live in. And the vehicle cannot continue to grow and evolve, and the consciousness cannot continue to grow and evolve unless the body physical has adapted. So every time that you're experiencing something new, be it in the dream state, or it's actually manifesting in the physical, time shifting or bleed through from timelines, all right? All of this is indicative that your body physical is in well enough physical condition to maintain it. Now, I'm not talking about you need to be an athlete, and I'm not talking about you need to work out 4 days a week, all right? Because in order to maintain these states of consciousness, the body physically only needs to be fit to consume the right kind of food and be living in an environment that's conducive to the development of these states of consciousness. And that's your responsibility as an individual. So the body jumping is a new, exciting tool to be able to evolve and grow. And very shortly, from what I understand and what I'm seeing and I'm hearing, and I like to speculate. I really get excited. I see stuff and I say, oh, geez, let me get into this one because I'm going to get my bippy all excited here. And I look at something like body jump and I see, wow, I wonder what could happen, if you wanted to kind of, go and learn what it feels like with somebody who's got cancer, and you want to know what it feels like, and you want to jump in, and you want to kind of experience what they're experiencing, feeling, and at the same time leave the essence within them of a body that doesn't have cancer. And maybe you could transpose some of your essence into their cellular and molecular structure. And gee whiz, maybe, hot diggity damn, you could actually facilitate some kind of help for that individual to begin the healing process for themselves. This is what I see. All right. This is what I see when I see this coming. And I know there are many others of you out there that are like that. That's what I see. That's why I'm still here, because I'm excited. This is the most exciting time on the planet because of the multidimensional states of consciousness and because of the multidimensionalism that is beginning to develop and evolve in people at this particular point in time. Now, aren't you excited? Remember, as I said, evolution waits for no one. And no belief systems. It just keeps trucking. And body jumping is going to become very, very popular and very prominent in the next little while. Unfortunately, a lot of you guys are way ahead of me. What can I say? It happens. Have a great day, everyone.